How do I?
So, first, we'll begin by downloading Sketchfab plugin for Blender. And here you can download the Blender plugin. When downloaded, go to the Sketchfab website and search up, for example, a sheep model, which will be linked in the description. Once we found out our sheep, let's copy the URL and paste it into the Blender plugin. To enable the Sketchfab plugin, go to Preferences and search Sketchfab plugin. Click this arrow and hit Install from disk and find your plugin. Now make sure to mark it. Now open the Sketchfab plugin and mark Import from URL. Now just paste the URL to here and enable cycles in the render engine. Now make sure to save the GLTF file. It will come in handy later. Once we are in Blender, we delete those particles, and I think these should be on every model basically, so we need to delete them. We can delete the keyframes too, and go to the texture mode and we can see the sheep. So let's delete the camera and the light, and now enable the Rigify plugin. Search Rigify. This plugin should be installed in Blender. If you have that, then press Shift A and choose Armature and Rigify Metrics and choose Basic Quadruped. Scale it up a bit, and now we need to make the rig as the bones of the sheep. We select the X-ray mode and the wireframe mode, and we go to the edit mode by clicking tab on the rig, and let's select tool and X-axis mirror. Now this should mirror our movements of the sheep. Now let's get into the rigging of the sheep. So I will give you some key shortcuts to rig the sheep yourself. R to rotate, S to scale the bone, and G to move the bone. Now if you want to check if you have rigged the right, then go into this mode and you can see that the rig is like somewhere here. It is like going out of the sheep, which is bad because it won't work properly, so we need to like get it in the sheep. I think job's done on rigging the sheep. Now go to the object mode by hitting tab and select the sheep and select the rig and hit CTRL-P. Now let's choose with automatic weights. Now once you have this, let's go to the pose mode on the rig, and you can see that if you rotate some part of the rig, it also rotates the sheep. Now if you have this, then we can export it. So we click export in the file tab and we click export as FBX. So now make sure that there is path mode set to copy. It makes a lot of trouble if you don't do that, and there you select armature and mesh. Now let's scale this down a bit to 0.1 for example, so the sheep won't be too big in the workspace in the Roblox Studio, and apply transform to yes. Let's call this like sheep rig for example, and let's save it to the download. We export the FBX. Now let's move on to the Roblox Studio. When loaded, select import and find your file there. Now I'll mark icosphere. I really don't know how it got there, and import the FBX. When you have that done, save the game. Name it whatever you want and hit save. We have a slight problem. The sheep doesn't have its textures it should have. If you look in Blender, we can see that the textures are visible and clear to see. So now click the sheep, click mesh 0. It may be called something different, but let's click this thing and let's add a surface appearance. So once you have that, you need to go to color map and set add image, choose file, and now the important part. You needed to save the file that we downloaded from the Sketchfab website, and we need to extract the files so it becomes a normal file, not zip file. And in this, select textures, and we will select text map underscore base color. So now hit create. So once you have loaded the texture, it should appear on the sheep, as we can see. If it doesn't work, you need to check that it's on a color map, because if you put it in the normal map or metalness map, it won't work properly. So make sure to do that. And now let's do the important part. So let's add an animation controller and one animator. Now click Avatar tab, and there should be a clip editor, which is a plugin for the animation, and it should be built already in Roblox Studio. Now let's click the sheep, and it should already recognize that it has a rig. Now let's do the sheep movement, so we can see that the sheep moves in some direction, and we need to make the walk animation. So I will have you do this. You will add all body in here, and so now we need to make the animation 60 seconds, so we'll change the value right here. And now let's get to animating. So for the start position, we'll move the front right leg a little bit upwards, and the back left leg a little upwards too. Now on the frame 15, we'll change the positions of the legs completely, so the back right leg goes downwards, and the left back leg goes downwards too, and the other leg goes upwards. Now let's go to frame 30, and let's copy all of the keyframes we have done, and let's copy the keyframes from the start one more time at frame 60. So to make the sheep look more natural, we're gonna move her head, so go to frame 0 and keep it as it was, and then go at frame 30 and move her head up a bit, and then at frame 60 get back to its original position. So once you have that smooth looping movement, we're gonna save the animation. There might be a problem where the animation editor is full, so we'll just expand it. Let's make a new animation by publishing to Roblox, and we need to copy the animation ID we get from it. So let's name it sheep animation, and let's give it a description. My first animation. Click save. Then there should appear an ID, so we'll copy it and hit close. Now we're gonna insert a script into the model and paste our ID right there. So now we'll insert 3 parts, and we'll call them waypoint 1, waypoint 2, and waypoint 3. And those are basically points, and between them the sheep will move. And we can scale the sheep down a bit. So now if you want it to be more realistic, make the waypoints transparent so the player cannot see them, and set the anchor to true. Now the last thing we need to do, we're gonna hit the script, and we're gonna paste the script I have given you in the description. Paste the ID into the inserter ID here. It is on line 15. So I will now try to make you understand this script. This is the localization of the things we have got here. This is the speed of the sliding down to the next point, and we can see that this is the real animation. This is the speed of the play of the animation. This is the raycasting, which is a system used for detecting ground. So if we have like mountains or other things like that, if we can detect the sheep going up and down so she doesn't get stuck in the ground. This is a infinite loop that helps the raycasting to connect to the script. I hope I somehow managed to make you understand that better. And now let's test the script. And if we move closer to the sheep, we can see that the sheep is using our animation. I hope that by this tutorial you were able to make your first own moving animal. I would like you to subscribe to the channel because this is a new channel and I uncovered the needed tutorials on YouTube. I make it fast, simple and clear to understand. And make sure to give me some feedback and see you again in the next video.